Welcome to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley, Dad Dude, telling y'all to never shut up. Y'all know I'm charged up from this weekend because this is where we learn those life lessons and talk through them through sports and entertainment. And we cover that media like the media covers everything else. And right now we about to cover a rap at ESPN. Yes, Pat McAfee says he has to combat a rap. He up there rapping, and he's talking about names and numbers. This is why I love Pat McAfee, because he ain't hiding. Tank top on, he say, look, you can see me, and I'm talking about you, Norby Williamson. All right, so y'all may not know who Norby Williamson is. Big-time executive at ESPN, been there forever, even before my days. So he doesn't have a stellar reputation, let's just say that, right? So this landed in the sports media landscape pretty well with a lot of people, including some big names. But first, let's just give you a little context and color of what's cracking here. So Pat McAfee basically is sitting there like, somebody is sabotaging our name, our show. Now, usually when you hear that, somebody gonna stay general and you just be like, all right, dog, who you talking about? And if you ain't gonna talk about who they are specifically, why you telling us? We can't help your ass. Listen to Pat McAfee. He wants our help.
Anyways, we're very appreciative, and we understand that more people are watching this show than ever before. We're very thankful for the ESPN folks being very hospitable. Now, there are some people actively trying to sabotage us from within ESPN. Funny. More specifically, I believe Norby Williamson is the guy who is attempting to sabotage our program. I'm not 100% sure. That is just seemingly the only human that has information, and then somehow that information gets leaked, and it's wrong, and then it sets a narrative of what our show is, and then are we just going to combat that from a rat every single time? I don't know, but like somebody tried to get ahead of our actual ratings release with wrong numbers 12 hours beforehand. That's a sabotage attempt, and it's been happening basically this entire season from some people who didn't necessarily love the old edition of the Pat McAfee show to the ESPN family.
Sure.
There's a lot of those. We've heard them anonymously quoted in the Washington Post, in the New York Post, in the New York Times, in the LA Times, in Wall Street Journal. And they're never like, yeah, love the show.
This is awesome.
It's always like little things to try to tear us down. So even with the enemy within our own camp, somebody that I don't like that guy. That guy left me in his office for 45 minutes, no-showed me in 2018. So this guy has had zero respect for me. And in return, same thing back to him for a long time. So even with that taking place and potential PR, like we're still growing somehow.
Yep.
So we're very thankful.
Yeah.
I think we're doing it right. We're trying to do it as right as possible. We have good intentions every single time we come in here. We don't always get it right, but motherfuckers been getting it wrong for a long time in this specific field. Long time.
Every day. Every single day. What do you mean? Like you said, you have the right intentions. Like, we're trying to sit here and have fun and talk about sports.
Bingo.
And Connor and other stuff as well.
Man, he went there. Woo! Coach, I remember it like yesterday. Coach said, if you say something disparaging, bad about somebody, I don't give a damn who it is. I need their names and numbers. So he went there on Norby. Now, here's the thing about it. This was happening during the show, last hour of the show. And he's like, all these articles out there, people just keep putting out information that someone is privy to. Because you can tell when you read the articles. Oh, that's intel. That's behind the scenes. Somebody got some knowledge here. This ain't just no guesswork. And it happens in all industries. It happened when I played football. You'd be like, oh, somebody leaked an article one time. I was going to sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I didn't sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But there were conversations off the record with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm like, who in the hell would say that? It was somebody more than likely from the Pittsburgh Steelers trying not to drive the price up, right? So they're like, oh, no, we don't got any interest, et cetera, et cetera. That was one story. Another time I was going through contract negotiations, ESPN, they start leaking stuff, trying to suppress your numbers. I give you a famous one. One time, Shannon Sharp, you remember Shannon Sharp was up for negotiation. There was a lot of issues. Well, Skip is getting paid $6 million. Why is Shannon only getting $3 million? Is it because of race? Remember that? All those kind of things. So there's always a side leaking it. And it ain't just two sides. It's a third side, you know. And that third side is the one that's trying to tell the truth, but at the same time trying to give an advantage to one side or the other. You ever catch that? So Shannon's side more than likely leaked that. More than likely. I ain't gonna go there on record. Allegedly, as they say in YouTube world, etc. A bunch of cases. Now y'all start looking at stuff through those lenses, through those eyes. Like, oh, why do I know that? Stephen A. Smith in his next negotiation, hey, I may not be here. He's saying that directly, but also you can read articles that are pointing to the same thing. That's usually a camp trying to get some leverage. All right, so McAfee kept talking about that. One of the articles said Pat McAfee needs to produce better ratings to be worth $85 million and headaches for ESPN. Where does that come from? That comes from somebody on the inside sitting there like, let's start to poke a little hole in that balloon. Let some of that air out just in case this is not going as we want it to go. We already laid some groundwork. His contract 5 years. Years ago they could say, years ago, you weren't living up to expectations in the beginning. Ain't that dirty, y'all? That's how the game goes for real. So you can see the situation already percolate, and good job, McAfee, for addressing it straight on, straight up. Now, ESPN, of course, when he comes direct shot, you got to respond in a direct manner. Their PR released a statement saying, quote, no one is more committed to and invested in ESPN's success than Norby Williamson. At the same time, we are thrilled with the multi-platform success that we have seen from the Pat McAfee show across ESPN. We will handle this matter internally and have no further comment. Basically, they're going to say, hey, y'all got to stop playing. Y'all can fight, but y'all can't be messy when y'all fight, right? Y'all can't be slinging mud outside the pig pen. That's how this conversation going to go. So I saw Jamil Hill. She tweeted, quote, I can relate. And Michelle Beadle wrote, well. Now, what's up with those 3-word responses by both ladies? Let me tell you something. Norby got power. So people ain't going to go directly at Norby like Pat McAfee did, because not everyone has Pat McAfee's power. He's on a guaranteed contract. Do what you want. You know what my landing spot would be if you want a set trip up here. I'll be right back on YouTube exclusively, right? So it's a flex to another guy who knows he has power that can flex as well. All right, let's get into a little deeper life lesson of this. All right, because I know both parties involved. More importantly, I know the game. To succeed in this sports media business, you got to have your guy. You got to have a guy. Jamie Horowitz was a name back in the days. You guys remember him, still out there doing his thing, but y'all remember that name percolating. He was a guy. He was a guy that rolled with me. Sports Nation became a thing because Jamie Horowitz went to bat for me, etc. Stephen A. Smith has a guy. His name is Dave Roberts, if you guys know who Dave Roberts is. He's an executive that runs First Take and has control, I think, over, he used to have all of audio, think so, and some of the sports programming, etc. I don't know exact title, but he's a guy. Stephen A. got his guy. Skip has his guy. Charlie Dixon, who used to work with Jamie Horowitz as well, who was my guy. Love Charlie. That's Skip's guy. See what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing about it. Without a guy, you're rowing a boat, no engine. But you don't need a guy. It just, you're going to see the guys who are somebody got a guy. Now, with a guy, you're smooth selling. That's how the game goes, pretty much. Like, because he's going to go out there, hey, I got a new show idea, take it to the execs. Who are you thinking about in terms of talent? Well, I got Skip, I got Stephen A., I got Pat McAfee. You already got it plugged in. Let's go. Now, if that guy ain't going to bat for you, then you in that audition line. Good luck to you trying to skip that line. Now, when you don't have a guy, you know how it's going to go. A lot of work. When you got a guy, smooth selling. What about when a guy's hating on you? Like in this situation. It's choppy waters, but it doesn't sink your ship. So behind the scenes right now, they having some real conversations about the Pat McAfee experience. Not to get rid of it, but how to smooth it out internally. Because right now, obviously, Pat McAfee ain't scared to call somebody out as he just did Norby. And more importantly, they don't need those type of headaches. And the craziest thing is his show is doing good. Like, if you add up all of it, TikTok, YouTube, ESPN, the actual channel, he has grown since he left YouTube exclusively. But that doesn't feel like That's the narrative. That's the message being portrayed. And that's why Pat McAfee got mad and had to blast his butt. So good for him. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Norby just because I don't have a lot of experience with Norby. It was simple as that. Cordial, great, but not the greatest of experiences and not a ton of them. But his reputation, as you can see by Michelle Beadle and Jamel Hill, all to the bad. So what do y'all think of this? Tell me what y'all think. What do you think? Are you on Pat McAfee's side? Are you on ESPN's side? Do you even understand what the beef is about? The dude is doing great. Why y'all over there trying to undercut him? Usually when they do that, they trying to get some of that money back sooner or later. There's no other reason for you to be out there trying to hate him. And the dude stood him up. He said he was in his office, 45 minutes? Norby didn't even show up? At least he was in his office. I don't think I ever been to Norby's office. All right, so, and what do y'all think about ESPN just in general? Has it been a good fit for McAfee, or are you on Norby's side? You hating on McAfee as well? All right, let's get into this, where Camron says, I'm not an African-American. I've had this conversation 1,000 times. I know y'all have too, those who are claimed entitled as African-American. Man, I'm so old. I don't remember being called a Negro, but I remember them calling me like, what was it? Afro-American. That's what it was, right? Didn't they call us Afro-Americans? It was African-Americans. There was black somewhere in there. And I was just like, oof, I'm glad I didn't get the Negro and the colored people and all that way back. But Camron broke this down. And obviously he used sports to connect and to talk through this. But I want y'all to hear what Camron got to say about him not being African-American, him being a black American. Check this out.
Honest with you. I'm be totally honest with you. And I know we got to get back to our topics. We already a few minutes in. I'd rather feeling black than African-American. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
And Americans do?
Well, you're American, Mace. You're born in America. When you go to the Olympics, and when I say African-American, you go over there, they call us Yankees and all that. They fuck with us, but we're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a black American. When we go to the Olympics as a country and somebody black is fighting from the United States, you don't say African-American, you say American. You don't even put a color on it. It's an American fighter fighting a European fighter or China or Japanese or anything. You're known in the Olympics as an American. It doesn't matter what color you are. You're an American fighting against somebody from Cameroon or Senegal, whatever. The point being is they don't categorize it when it's world competition, but when it's other shit, it needs to be categorized. So I consider myself a black American. I don't consider myself African American. And shout out to all my niggas in Africa. Much love. But y'all don't consider us real Africans.
Yeah. Okay. This got to get real. It's got to get real. From the world's perspective, I am an African American. Sipping on a water jug. Now, when it's the world perspective, you get grouped into larger chunks. Y'all all get it, right? The whole world ain't got time to go micro. They just macro. Oh, y'all African Americans. Okay. Even though that name came out somewhere, well, I don't know, the 80s or something. Like, what was I before? Point being. So, to me, I always look at it like this, because when I went to school, I realized, like, someone in New York says, oh, you from LA? Okay, that's fine. But then somebody from LA is like, you from Compton. You get it? We can go a little more granular. We can get a little more specific with this definition. Okay, so to be clear, here's my specific definition of who I am. I am black. I don't even say black American. I am black. Now, what the hell does that mean? Let me tell you what I think it means. It's one, to separate when you hear African American, and I have not been to Africa, don't think that's a necessary requirement to be called African American, because I know a lot of Mexican Americans who never been to Mexico. First generation born over here, and they like, no, I ain't been back there. I never went over there. So I'm not saying that's why I don't call myself African American, but I am feeling what Camron is saying in terms of I'm going to tell you who I am, not who you think I should be. Like, who in the hell is whoever that is putting this in the census or is specific enough to say that I am now African American with no cultural connection to Africa, but obviously through my bloodline and going way, way, way back, the connection to Africa, which that's a lot of us. That's all of us, first people found in Africa. So what Camron is basically saying, like, they don't fuck with us. Why don't they fuck with us? It's because we have different cultures, huge cultural difference. And our value system, Black value system, is different than African Americans, which is different than Africans, if you know all of these people. Because that's what shapes my expectations. That's what shapes my knowledge on this, my experience. I grew up with an African guy as my neighbor. And, you know, this is why I love talking through stuff like this. When you look at him, you look at me, the first take, you're like, oh, okay, could be brothers. Then you squint a little and you start seeing deeper features. You're like, nah, they both the same complexion, but that's about it. Then if you were privy enough to go behind the scenes, to go in his house, in my house, oh, it's a whole different world. Now, what was connecting us? My ancestors from Africa. What else is connecting us? Not a single damn thing other than we got the same complexion. I mean, seriously, Poppy, his name was. Poppy. Oh, and it was weird because we used to battle, not in like fighting ways, but just like different. Like he was here and I was here. And it was always this expectation, why were we on different sides? And you know, stuff he was eating, stuff I was eating, he wouldn't come over and eat. We didn't go over there and eat. It was like, I just remember being young and like, we're different, but we look the same. And it just reminded me of the old mantra, we're all uniquely the same, right? Like we got stuff in common, but we got a lot of stuff that is not in common. And why is everybody trying to lump us up? So then the one day wake up and hear that now him and I are the same. And then and he's like, nope, I am African. You are African American. But I'm like, I'm not connecting to the African part. So I hear what Camron says when he talks about that. And then, you know, I don't want to get into the like, I've had experiences with 12 Africans, pure Africans, you know, Acho or Janine from college, et cetera. And I'm like, that went well, that did not go well. I don't think that's how you sum this up. Way I think you sum this up is, one, stop redefining what Black people are like that. Two, don't let them define who you are as a Black person because we are different. And then three, because it's a unique experience, obviously, slavery, et cetera. Three, let's talk about the culture. This is why Camron, and he didn't go there, and I thought Camron goes anywhere he wants to. Maybe he did it later in a segment and does somewhere else. The reason Africans don't fuck with Black people is because they don't respect our culture. Now, what is our culture? If I had to generalize our culture and value system, it doesn't have the same soil in terms of education as a priority. They are like, y'all don't value education the same. You guys over there in America and got colonized, et cetera, went through it all, et cetera. Your education, I've always heard them say to me, our education is like the biggest difference. Nuclear family a little bit too. I'm hearing that of late. Y'all tell me what you guys are hearing. Because there is obviously some tension, some differences between African and Black. But that's not why I want to be defined differently than them. It's simply because I don't have those things in common with you in terms of your culture. So in the comments, beat it up. I want you guys to tell me, let's sum up African and their culture versus Black and our culture, right? The pros and the cons. This is one thing I don't like about culture. I wish culture would just go away because it just seems like boundaries. Even though those expectations, those things you buy into, those attributes, let's be real. They come with the good and the bad. If the expectation is high as a culture, as a group, then that's a good thing. But if it isn't, then that's a bad thing. So I just think that I see it all the time. It's for the culture. I'm like, for what culture? Like, what do you mean? Like, Is rap for the culture? What do you mean? Whatever I do if I'm black is for the culture because I'm black. Why it doesn't work that way? Like, why do I have to subscribe? Like I'm on YouTube. I'm subscribing to the black culture by doing this or any other culture versus, no, that culture is going to respect me as I'm doing whatever I want to do.
I found this on the web.
I found it on the web too, girl. So the point is, you're growing up, you're skateboarding. Oh, you ain't black. What? All those type of things. Give me some of those anecdotes and give me the differences between African and black. And are you black? Are you a black American? Are you African American? Are you white? Mexican American, etc. Beat it up in the comments. Let me know what you think and what you thought about Camron saying that. And do you see the significance in identifying with a culture, with a group? Do you see it? Or are you like, miss me with that? I just do that because I got to fill out my census, can't leave it blank. Is it one of those situations? And do you think Africans consider us real Africans? I know damn well everyone I met, they like, no. And I don't even take it as a diss. I'm like, all right, you're right. My 23andMe though say I'm 61% Nigerian. And then in some other stuff. And then 9% like Western European or something. I was like, oh, dang. We know where that was. All right, so here we go. Let's talk about this because in the sports media conversation, there's a lot of bad takes out there, horrible takes out there, right? And why do talking heads have some of the worst takes, right? You're supposed to be experienced. You're supposed to be knowledgeable. You're supposed to do your homework. You got your research. You got all these resources. Why y'all get these sorry ass takes at times, right? They call them freezing cold takes, right? Isn't that what it's called, the website? All right. I am guilty as well, so therefore I would like to talk through some freezing cold takes. Because there's a couple right now that I want to highlight, and they're interesting because they're not exactly as you will take them. On the surface, you would think one thing, but then it's counterintuitive what actually is going on here. So the first one is Marcellus Acho, who got called out by, I guess, his former teammate. And it's not even, let me not say called out, because that's Acho's words. That's Acho's feelings. I saw some of the comments. If you do something in public, and I just had this conversation with my wife because she's on the Housewives of Beverly Hills. And I'm like, baby, when y'all beefing for the world. Y'all not beefing and like, oh, let me call you and text you and then go on the show and then act like everything is cool. Nah, we airing this out. Everything's for those cameras, right? Kind of like sports. Like I live my life publicly. I couldn't say, hey, coach, I'm balling out of control. And he's like, well, do it in the game so the world can see. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to hide. You ain't got to just do it in practice. Do it for the world. Your wins and losses are for the world's consumption, right? So in a public domain, like a talking head, you doing it for the world to consume. So when it doesn't go well, that ain't the world calling you out. That ain't your teammate calling you out. That's just the way it goes. Okay, so Acho has this sound talking about the Bears and what should they do with Justin Fields? Should they keep him? Should they let him go? Obviously, we know the situation, the number one overall pick. What you gonna do? You got that from Carolina. All of those things, right? Listen to Acho talk through it.
Easier to hit on one player in Caleb Williams than it is to hit on four players. Mm-hmm. If you're talking about trading that number one overall pick for all these other picks, now you got to hope that Marvin Harrison hit. Mm-hmm. Then you got to hope that the tackle you draft hit. Mm-hmm. Then you got to hope that the other pass rusher hit, as opposed to simply hoping that Caleb hits. Yeah. It's easier in my mind to simply hit on Caleb Williams than it is to pray that you hit on 3 or 4 other picks, not to mention you can always trade Justin Fields for a second or third round pick. So based upon that, why would you not say to yourself, wait, we've already got lucky. Yeah. We traded Bryce Young for Caleb Williams and DJ Moore, because that's what it came down to. Uh-huh. They traded that number one overall pick for DJ Moore plus another first round pick who you can now use on Bryce Young. You got lucky. Yeah. By the grace of God, the Panthers were terrible. You got DJ, you got Caleb. For Bryce, take your money, go to the cashier, cash out. Yeah. Why would you not make that decision? Because you.
Okay. Now, Acho, they lit his ass up for this. And I was like, I know why they lit him up, because simply most people took it like this. You wouldn't want 4 picks. You only want 1 pick. Like swinging at something 4 times is better than swinging at it 1 time. People just kept it at that level. And I give you that. 4 swings at anything is better than 1. Let's be real. But just remember this, that Acho, no matter how horrible that take sounded, let's be real, and he got crushed for it, it may sound like he had flawed logic, 4 is better than 1, but what he said is not a failed experience. Walk with me here. I was in San Diego the same year this happened. Same proposition too. Michael Vick, number 1 overall pick for everybody's thoughts, consensus, and it actually happened. But we had that number 1 overall pick, San Diego, traded it down, right, to number 5. They swapped with us. Okay. They get Michael Vick. One swing, Michael Vick, franchise changer, yeah? Hall of Famer? No. Guess what San Diego got? LaDainian Tomlinson. Franchise changer? Yeah. Hall of Famer? Yeah. Guess who else they got? Drew Brees. Franchise changer? Yeah. Hall of Famer? Yeah. Now, he did a lot more work in New Orleans, but point being, that's Drew Brees. Tim Dwight came in that package as well, etc. It was real. So, one franchise gets a franchise changer and Michael Vick. Another franchise gets top 5 running back and a top 5 quarterback in NFL history with back-to-back picks. You wouldn't have done that if you just simply took Michael Vick. So for everybody who killed Acho, and I understand why y'all pulled the gun out, put it back. At least by experience. Not by logic, because you're right. Logically, it made no sense. But it actually does, because that logic landed in reality, and I lived through that experience just to give you one. Okay. Now remember, in the sports media game, you can do it like I do it, and I don't do it the best for this reason. Neat and round and logical and perfect sounding takes. I'm not saying I'd always do that, but I try to do that. Versus, man, don't even try and get it all the way right. Just get it so they all gonna pay attention to it. You know the difference. Somebody just saying something, you're like, what'd you say? Isn't that crazy? You could just be talking to somebody and having a normal conversation. Fine. You say something like, what? That's sports media. Listen to Colin Cowherd right now. Do just that.
Lamar Jackson's a project. He's not Sam Darnold. He's not Josh Rosen. You watched him last night. He's not even close. He's not even close.
Now, here's crazy part about this. Colin's already said, look, I'd rather be interesting at times than right. He actually had evidence to say what he just said about Lamar Jackson, which is he ain't good, he said in that moment. But now, listening to that and hearing that sound, look how illogical he sounds, right? So he actually had reality form his opinion, and it sounds illogical now. Whereas Acho actually was going with an experience, and then that made the logic sound crazy. Like, what? Ain't it wild out here in these streets? Acho like, yeah. I'm going to get 4. No. I'm going to just get this one. Everybody's like, no, get the 4. No, I'm going to get this 1. What are you talking about? So one has reality, and now it sounds crazy, right? And then one sounds crazy, but it's reality. Walk with me, y'all. It's crazy. 2 sides to every coin in this situation. So one actually had a point with the evidence, and one sounded ridiculous, and they both kind of land in the same place. Now Lamar Jackson going to be 2-time MVP, maybe Super Bowl champion, maybe Super Bowl MVP, but definitely going to be 2-time MVP. The same guy who's not better than who? Sam Darnold. Not better than who? Josh Rosen. God dang. That's how the game goes. So I have a ton of takes that I regret that you would know. The worst take I had was partly the Chiefs. I kept saying the Chiefs weren't going to be that great, have this dynasty. And, we could still argue that. Is the Chiefs a dynasty? They won 2, right? I still say they're a little short of it, but who am I? I have 0. And also when I killed one of my coaches, and I didn't even mean to do it, I just was like, yo, we were playing in a circus one time. And they ran with it as they can run with it. But I was a young broadcaster at the time. I learned from that experience. But y'all feed me some of the worst takes you guys have heard. And even if it's a bad take, can you see the logic in it? Or do you see the experience and the reality in it? Break that down. Beat up some of those takes. All right, y'all. Coming up next on Never Shut Up, Guess what we gonna do? What's up with that, dude? We're gonna funk up some comments and hit you with a Wileyism, and then we out of here. Next, on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV and Reach TV. Yeah. Y'all know y'all love this hoodie. Y'all love this hoodie. Welcome back to Never Shut Up. It's your boy Marcellus Wiley over here. Thank you guys for all your love and support. I keep seeing you guys supporting the community, leaving your email and leaving those donations for Project Transition. So log on to projecttransition.org. Look at those fingers. And if you leave that donation, recurring donation, you will get this book right here, Never Shut Up. Name of this show, same thing. All right, y'all. We're going to talk about what's up with that dude. Let's get it every day. I played pickleball this weekend and I sucked. I am the weakest link. Even when I got home court advantage, that does not feel good. I need some help, some tips. Anybody play pickleball out there, let me know. We're in the works of planning a few pickleball tournaments, including one for Memorial Day in Las Vegas. So I'm just putting that out there right now. Look forward to seeing you guys out there. We're going to make that one happen. Got to do it. What else happened this weekend? My girls are fully into a sport, fully invested in soccer right now. Like every kid, it seems like every kid puts their foot in soccer, right? And tries it out. So it's just good because, you know, my girl's been going there for like a few months. And first, I was like, dog, what are y'all doing? Do y'all care? Do y'all like this? Do y'all really want to be here? But they're young. But still, the point is, I'm like, damn, they don't even take to this. And now they're taking to it, like want to do all the drills, etc. So that's fun to watch. Wasn't fun to watch? The Chargers yesterday. I went to that game, Chargers game, last one of the season for us. They lost to the Chiefs. That was a weird game. I can't say boring. It's just when there are not stars out there like normal, it just sucks the energy out. Like people are just in there golf clapping like, all right, this is fun. And you start getting into it because you're like, I don't know this guy, but he balling, he playing well in this moment. But without Mahomes, without Herbert, it was already, and then no Kelsey. Oh man, it's crazy. My friend, during warm-ups, Kelsey waved to her, and she still can't stop talking about it. All he did was like, she waved, she doing this, and Kelsey looked up, and he was like, she lost her damn mind. The power of the star. Oh, man. All right, y'all, let's funk up some comments. Yeah. What were we talking about on Friday? Social media. Needs social media banned for at least 1 year. Wow. Born in 1994, one of the last generations to experience life without social media and cell phones. Truly a different time that wasn't that long ago, and to be honest, the world did just fine without it. Hold on. If you was born in 1994, you don't even remember anything till like 2000. It's coming. 2000. In 2000, we had phones. In 2000, yeah, it was real. So you were raised in it. I was raised without it. And I like it much better with it. Like, stop. I hate when we complain to the point where you think we're going to change something. I don't want to change nothing. I just want to make sure we use it properly. But no, social media, way better than no social media. You ain't got to be addicted to it. Get off the crack. But at the same time, shoot, send that text to everybody in the world. Check out all this stuff. It's amazing content out there. To even anybody to watch you do whatever you do. It could be a viral video. It could just be you writing a post, whatever it is. For the world to consume your content, thank you guys as well. It's competition. I got a list this long of shows I need to watch on Netflix and on Hulu, and it's still this long. Matter of fact, it's getting longer by the day. I can't. It's too much content, right? As soon as you grab your phone, you're about to text somebody, you see a text, you respond to them. Then you forget that who you're supposed to text. Then you got emails. Then you can start looking on social. You're on the gram. Next thing you know, you're like, I ain't did nothing. That's life right now. So all you got to do is manage it, but don't get rid of it. Y'all crazy. Yeah, social media has stripped human communication. You used to have to stand physically present to talk to somebody or try to impress them to be liked. Now everything is convenient by the swipe and tap of your finger. A lot of people don't like to go out and do things anymore. Neil99, all right. You're right there. I don't like that part. I don't like the part where you're not connecting with people. But I force my kids. They're not on social media, but they got devices, their iPad. I'm like, nope, human interaction. When their cousins come over, friends come over, can we all watch our iPad? Can we watch Mr. Beast? Nope. Mr. Beast is when you by yourself and you got your own downtime and you did all your homework, all your chores, etc. Other than that, nope, because I need y'all to connect to people. You're right. I do see this generation a little weird in terms of human interaction. They don't look each other in the eyes. They don't say hello. They don't have a general politeness, etc. They don't mac. They don't holler. They don't say, hey. I have not seen a dude go like this in so long. What's up, girl? They just like this. I've seen dudes literally try to holler at girls like this. And I'm like, oh, as long as he know her name or he can look her up, that's all he needs. Let's talk about Lululemon. Chip Wilson should have just stuck to his guns instead of apologizing. Yeah, because look, at least we think you're authentic. You may be wrong. Like, look, you could be authentic and wrong. I could be sitting up here saying, man, I can't stand short people. And then all the short people get mad. Then I'll be like, you know what? I didn't really mean that because who can even define what short is? I'm so sorry for the pain and hurt that you short people have felt. You be like, what? Now you don't win either side. You done lost all the tall people who were like, no, why are you apologizing? Nobody want to be short. You just are. And then I'll lose all the short people because I came at them in the first place. These apologies, these fake apologies, man, just to fix that bottom line. I mean, look, Bud Light is recovering, right? I guess. Did they apologize? I don't know. I just saw an ad and they had some hip people in it. And I was like, oh, here they come. They're back. So if you run a big company, man, you know how it is. It's called politics. We're all discriminated against every day. Everything is not for everybody. Thank you. You know when I learned that? I learned that not only just growing up, like I can't get that. I don't have enough money for that. Or, oh, we haven't been over there. Or we haven't taken that vacation. Or we haven't been to that amusement park. I grew up with discrimination. And it wasn't like they saying you can't go. They're just saying this is the qualifier. If you don't meet that standard, you don't get it. Just like a small pants is like, if you weigh more than this or you ain't this size, you are a medium. Like, who takes that to heart? You a medium. Who gives a damn? But the thing about it is, when I went to the combine, I learned discrimination. They were like, the time. Time. You got in two different lines. Height. A little short. Tick, 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 tick. Height. Vertical jump. Oh, that's it. Oh, getting different lines. Come on, man. Toughen up, people. Shut up. Let's talk about Russell Westbrook. I agree with Ryan Clark. How you mad at Russ when that's what Russell Westbrook? Oh, this is Russell Wilson. How you mad at Russ when that's what made Russ successful? Let's remember Sean Payton agreed to the job after was already there. I'll get to y'all again. Yeah, it's an ego war, man. Crazy. He's trying to tell Russ not to be Russ. Not how that works. And then the last one, this take doesn't explain why the coach came at him disrespectfully from the very beginning. Russ was still a Hall of Fame level quarterback. Even if he had a previously bad year, he should have been given a chance to prove that he was correcting the issue before the kissing babies comment was thrown out there. I agree with Ryan Clark. Okay, let me say this. Russell Wilson was not being judged off of just 1 year. His reputation preceded him in many ways. One, with teammates. Remember the Richard Sherman and all that kind of stuff? That wasn't just a year ago, y'all. That was 5-6 years ago. They were telling y'all, Russ ain't all that, right? Whether it was personality, leadership, or production. He was dressed up. Remember that now, because Pete Carroll remembers it. So Pete Carroll, obviously, with Russell Wilson gone, allowed that to happen. You think if he was in love with Russell Wilson, that would have happened? So Russell Wilson was coming down the hill before he got to Denver and then had a horrible year in Denver, right? The first one. Point being, his marching orders, if you're Sean Payton, was to get Russell Wilson back or get him gone. Simple as that. I don't think it was even personal. I think he had shown that he wasn't great enough to lift the team by himself in Seattle and in Denver. And then when he gets to Denver and then Sean Payton finally there, he's like, oh, he don't have some time. Let me get him back. Because when you are not playing well and you are leaning into other things, oh, there's nothing worse. There's nothing worse when you're not doing your part and you got other things going on. Somebody owe you money. And then you hear they on vacation or they taking trips. Don't that feel worse? That's what Sean Payton and this organization was saying. You acting like the Waltons didn't empower him to do this. They did. So, look, I'm heartless in this situation because as a player, this is what I'm thinking. Coach ain't talking to me like that if I'm balling out of control. He just ain't. You know? Like, they going to try to. They going to fake like they can, but can you? Nope. What you going to do? Even if you balling out of control, even if somebody try to make you flinch like they did with Lamar Jackson and his contract stuff, I'm going to go somewhere else and get it. So if you don't want me, somebody else does. That's the confidence of a baller. When it's not that, it's like, oh, you know, people want to come to your rescue. Oh, that was mean. Oh, they didn't sound like they were being nice to you. Oh, dog, you ain't got to lie to me. I know when I'm not top dog, right? When you're not top dog, you try to walk in a pack. You try to walk with the other dogs because you ain't got it by yourself. So in that situation, I disagree with you guys. I disagree with Ryan Clark. I don't think he did anything out of bounds. And he didn't come in at first talking about Russell Wilson. He talked about Hackett. He talked about the horrible coaching job first. He tried to light it up and say it was everything but Russell Wilson. Remember? It was all, and then it went from that to, well, everybody had their hand in this. And then it went directly to Russell. Because he probably went to a few of them practices like, this dude is tripping. I got to get him right. Okay, so that's how the game goes. All right, y'all know how we finish every show. We finish it with a Wileyism. Yeah, I love you guys. I love getting through this new format. We got to get ready for those that dudes that are coming up. They want information or affirmation? I remember somebody hit me with that. I thought they said the same thing. I was like, what? He said, do they want information or affirmation? Now, if you keep this in your head when you talk to people, you're going to quickly realize where this conversation is going. When you're talking to somebody who wants information, they actually want to be informed. They actually want to listen, not just hold their breath waiting to talk again, which is now the new form of listening. I was like, did you hear what I just said? Like, you know, people are just pausing to talk again, not listening between those pauses, right? So do they want information or affirmation? Because if they want affirmation, all they want is the echo chamber. They just want you to just agree with what they're saying. And I hate that. Who doesn't hate that? Dang, how am I growing no more if I keep hearing what I already know, right? So let's take those challenges. Let's raise our hand. Like the Africans say about us black people. You guys need to get more educated, right? You need to get more educated. I'm like, whatever, dog. Point being, do they want information or affirmation? Check yourself too first. Because I know I sometimes go into conversation, I'm like, oh, they about to listen to me. They about to agree with me. I'm breaking this down. And then they were like, I disagree, dog. And I'm like, all right, good. We got something, some information being exchanged. But when they be, yeah. Nah. So just check yourself, check them, make sure your surroundings are growing, man. I stay positive because that's the way it got to go. I got kids, man. I ain't trying to get involved with all this madness out here. I'm trying to just keep it going, keep it flowing, and keep it positive so we all can go and grow from it. All right, y'all. Thank you for listening to your boy Talk That Noise on Never Shut Up on Brinks TV. Go to Brinks.tv. Get paid to watch Brinks TV. That's real. We give you 1,000 Brinks bucks if you log on right now. Thank you to BetUS, WileyWins.com. You know how it is. Go there, 125% sign up bonus and $50 free play. I'll hook y'all up. This show is powered by you and by Project Transition. So make sure you log on, projecttransition.org, and leave a recurring donation. This book is yours. I'll hook y'all up. Much love for y'all. Have a great day today. Peace. Oh, I'm from LA on my homie.
Stage a lot faster. Oh, I'm so honored.
I'm so inspired to be here, and thanks Shine Global for this award, to be recognized for doing the right thing, to be recognized for doing good things, and trying to inspire others for their own greatness. I'm just a kid from Compton who, at an early age, had to look inside to find my opportunities, because on the outside, there were so many whispers and sometimes yells of, I couldn't make my dreams a reality. And thought that was very unfortunate, but I was thankful that I never internalized that chorus that was around me. I was a kid that understood that you had to be greater than your greatest excuse. And I had a lot of excuses. I had a lot of reasons to have self-doubt. But I was able to develop my inner power, discover that inner power, and make sure that I showed the world exactly who I wanted to be. And it was really simple for me. It was to make my dreams a reality. There was nothing more to it. And as I now stand here, just a few miles from where I grew up, where that adversity still is strong, and as we see through these movies, that it's worldwide, not just in our locale. You see the suffering, you see the gangs, you see the drugs, you see the poverty. And there's always one common escape. It's that inner power, it's that ambition. It's having a voice that's louder than those surrounding voices. And I'm on a mission, a global mission, to make sure that that inner power inspires all to not only give, but to receive the blessings that come from giving. And I'm up here right now as a guy who's challenging everyone to give their 3 T's. That's time, that's talent, and that's treasure. Human capital, financial, whatever it may be. Let's invest in each other, because we all have to coexist here together. And as I look around and I have a foundation that really inspires these kids to become their greatest version of themselves, and to look in the mirror to make sure that they're greater than their greatest excuse. It gives me my greatest passion. I was a kid who wanted to be a school teacher, but because of my height, weight, and speed, I became a football player. So I took that helicopter ride up as high as I could, but as I was ascending, I never forgot that I was once one of those fork-in-the-road kids who was shot at many times, who had to navigate around adversity every single day, who had to waste so much of his brain power just trying to get home every day. And so many experiences that sometimes you become desensitized to. But in reality, that is someone else's reality. So I'm so thankful to stand in front of all of you guys as an example of the kids that we're trying to affect, the underserved, the underprivileged, those who are told that their hardships are greater than who they are. But hopefully we can inspire them all to look inward, because everything they want out there is already in here. Appreciate you guys.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook, where you can bet on everything, anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right. Get a 125% sign-up bonus, and to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we're giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.